In 1974, a quiet suburban home in Amityville, New York, became the scene of a gruesome mass murder that shocked the nation. But the horror didn't end there. After the murders, the house became infamous for the alleged paranormal activity that haunted its next residents. This is the true story of the Amityville Horror. On the night of November 13th, 1974, Ronald DeFeo Jr. entered Henry's bar in Amityville, New York, screaming that his family had been shot. Police arrived at the DeFeo home at 112 Ocean Avenue and discovered a grisly scene. The bodies of Ronald's parents and 4 siblings, all shot to death in their beds. Ronald initially claimed that the murders were the work of a mob hitman, but his story quickly unraveled. He eventually confessed to the killings, stating that he had heard voices in his head that urged him to murder his family. Ronald DeFeo Jr. was convicted of 6 counts of second-degree murder and sentenced to 6 consecutive life sentences. The DeFeo murders were shocking, but what happened after would become a worldwide phenomenon. In December 1975, just over a year after the DeFeo murders, George and Kathy Lutz, along with their 3 children, moved into the house on Ocean Avenue. The home was sold at a bargain price due to its violent history, but the Lutzes believed they could make it their dream home. However, their dream quickly turned into a nightmare. Almost immediately after moving in, the Lutz family began experiencing strange and terrifying occurrences. George Lutz would wake up at 3:15 a.m. every night, the exact time the DeFeo murders had taken place. The family reported cold spots, foul odors, and strange noises throughout the house. Even more disturbing were the apparitions they claimed to have seen, including a demonic, pig-like creature with glowing red eyes. As the days passed, the paranormal activity in the house grew more intense. George became increasingly obsessed with the house and began to exhibit strange behavior. He would spend hours in front of the fireplace, which he claimed was the only place in the house where he felt warm. He also became physically ill and started to exhibit signs of a violent temper. Kathy Lutz also experienced terrifying incidents. She claimed that one night she was levitated out of her bed and felt an unseen force trying to harm her. The children were not spared from the haunting either. They reported seeing shadowy figures and hearing disembodied voices in their rooms. In one particularly terrifying incident, the Lutzes found a small hidden room in the basement that was not on the house's original floor plan. The room was painted red and emitted a strange energy that made anyone who entered feel sick. George Lutz believed this room was a portal to hell, and the family's experiences only became more horrifying from that point on. After just 28 days in the house, the Lutz family could no longer endure the terror. On the night of January 14th, 1976, they fled the house, leaving behind all their belongings. They later claimed that the final night in the house was the worst, with violent paranormal activity that included loud banging noises, levitating objects, and an overwhelming sense of evil. The family took refuge at Kathy's mother's house, where they began to feel safe again. However, the events they experienced in the Amityville house would haunt them for the rest of their lives. After the Lutzes fled, paranormal investigators Ed and Lorraine Warren were called in to examine the house. The Warrens were renowned for their work in the field of the paranormal, and they were eager to investigate what they believed to be one of the most haunted houses in America. During their investigation, the Warrens claimed to have captured photographic evidence of paranormal activity in the house. One of the most famous images is that of a ghostly figure of a young boy standing at the top of the stairs. The Warrens also reported feeling an overwhelming sense of evil in the house and believed that it was infested with demonic spirits. The story of the Amityville Horror quickly gained media attention, and the house became a popular subject for books, documentaries, and movies. However, skepticism about the validity of the haunting grew as well. Some people, including the lawyer who represented Ronald DeFeo Jr., claimed that the Lutzes fabricated the entire story for financial gain. Despite the controversy, the Amityville Horror has remained one of the most famous paranormal cases in history. The Lutz family maintained until their deaths that their story was true, and that they experienced real terror in the house on Ocean Avenue. The house has since changed hands multiple times, and subsequent owners have reported no paranormal activity. However, the legend of the Amityville Horror continues to capture the public's imagination, and the house remains a popular destination for ghost hunters and paranormal enthusiasts. The Amityville Horror is a chilling reminder of the power of the unknown and the impact that a single night of terror can have on a family. Whether the story is fact or fiction, it has left an indelible mark on the world of the paranormal and continues to be a source of fascination and fear.